Today I will be your guide through the lands of Labyrinthian on this epic quest and adventure. Are you ready to meet your Questiny? The game starts with a rulebook, no surprises there. As this is still a prototype, there are some rule redactions as the publisher is still collecting feedback and making some changes to the game. There is also a QR code in this wax seal at the bottom, but you will not be needing that as this video will explain to you how to play Questiny. To set up the game, we're going to unfold this player board, no real surprises there, I guess. As you can see, this reveals the world of Labyrinthian. There are some blank spaces on the map, but we'll get into those real soon. Color-wise, it might seem a bit on the bland side, but it does match perfectly with that ancient look and feel of parchment maps in fantasy games. About those blank spots, we are living in the land of Labyrinthian, so I guess some labyrinth tiles are in order. We have one for the left, one for the middle, and one for the right. So we are going to place these on the map and rotate them in a starting position. I know what you're thinking, those tiles, really nice, but they are going to migrate all over the place. So how do we prevent this? Well, there is a nice little trick to that. You are simply going to take those metal connectors which come with the game, push them through the holes on the map, and then place the map back on the table. This will allow you to place the tiles on those metal connectors and rotate to your heart's content without the tile being able to migrate. To continue with the board setup, we are going to zoom in a little bit on a few different elements right now. The first tile we are going to have a look at are these pouch tiles. On all of these, you are going to take one coin and place it on top of those. Whenever a hero or an enemy lands on these tiles, they are going to claim said coin. A second and very important tile in the game of Questiny is any tile with a T marked on it. You're going to take all the T tokens and place one of them on each tile throughout the board. This can either be a treasure or a trap. Traps remain on the board until you finish the game or are game over, and treasures are slots which you can claim only once. There are also actions with an event marking on it, depending whether it is a hero or an enemy landing on this space. You will take a hero card and resolve it, or you will be taking an enemy card and resolve it. Questing is dangerous business, but luckily there are some potion vendors who set up shop along your way. If you land on one of these spaces, you pay 2 golden coins to claim 1 potion, which you can either use immediately or save for later. What would an epic adventure be without some epic legendary items? The wizard's wand, the lionheart shield, or the lightning boots. We are going to place these on specific slots reserved for them on the map. To prevent our heroes from simply walking all the way to the edge of the map, we are going to take some giant axe traps and placing them on the board. Whenever a hero or an enemy lands on an axe icon, you are going to take both axe traps and let them swing downwards, taking anyone out who is suddenly standing underneath a deadly swinging axe. And that concludes setup of Questiny. But wait, how do we play if we don't have any heroes and no bad guys? Well, first things first, we have 6 different heroes to choose from, each with different stats and benefits. There's a horse, there is a rogue, there is a barbarian, there's a mage, whatever floats your fancy. You pick a few and put those in the starting position of the board. Right, so our heroes are ready to embark on an adventure, but what is their quest? Well, the Mage Council has requested that you retrieve this magical artifact, some sort of a dragon egg, I suppose, which has been stolen by a big bad. And where does a big bad reside? I know, it is in a spooky looking tower, which we'll be placing somewhere at the edge of the board. You simply take the d4 you roll, and in the number you roll is the position where you're going to place the tower for this game. Once the tower has been placed in position, take the artifact, put it on top of the tower, and have the 3 boss cards ready. These are the dragon, the ogre, or the undead lord. Give them a good shuffle, and you're going to draw 1 and place it face down behind the tower. This is the big bad who stole the artifact. The other two, without looking at him, go back into the box. Logically, the big bad is not gonna go down without a fight, and they have, what else, an army of henchmen at the ready. They have minor henchmen and major henchmen. You're going to take this deck of cards, place it near the board, and reveal two of them to decide which guys you are fighting at the start of the game. In our case, we have the Shadow Knight and a Goblin. You're going to put their HP marker and an amount of coins as shown on their board. Next, you're going to take their standees and place them in the starting position as indicated in the rulebook. During your turn, you're going to take the black d6, roll it, and move that amount of spaces. In this case, I landed on a dark tower icon, meaning I have to roll a d4 and move the tower to said position. In this case, the tower warps to position 1 because nothing says creepy like a big black tower, which is also warping about the place. Once all the heroes have moved, you're doing the same movement for the enemies. In this case, I have to move 5 squares for the Shadow Knight, who will always be moving towards his preferred victim, being the Barbarian. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's going to take a coin and place it on top of his card. As soon as both heroes and enemies have finished their movement and or combat, you're going to take the moon dial and move it 1 space forward on the track. Whenever you hit a mark without light, you are in the dark phase of the moon, which will cause your heroes and enemies to have specific weaknesses. In the case of Barbarian, when it's night, he has -1 on all his cunning rolls. Whenever an enemy and a hero meet, they are going to fight it out. Which stat is being used depends on who started the fight. When the enemy started the fight, he uses his strongest statistics and the hero has to follow with that same stat. If the hero started the fight, he can choose which stat to use. The enemy has to follow with the same stat. In this case, the hero started the fight and decides to roll with strength, a d12. He rolls a 2. The Shadow Knight has to roll a d8 because his strength die is a d8. He rolls a 2. It is a tie, so both players re-roll their die. In this case, the Shadow Knight wins, causing the horse to lose 1 HP and has to retreat up to 4 spaces towards the start of his journey. Questiny is a perfect my first adventuring game with enough randomizers to boost replayability. There's the event card, there's trap and treasure tokens, and there are various enemies in the game which will be different every time you play. The rules could use a little bit of tweaking though, but that's exactly what these prototypes are for. The more feedback we as players can give to a publisher, the better the final result will be. Questiny also offers sufficient player interaction because you need to team up to fight the big bad, because fighting solo, believe me, I've tried, it's a bad idea. The amount of gold throughout the world of ᴛɪʟᴇ is also very limited, so there is some backstabbing between team members because I want some gold and yeah, you want some gold, but actually I need it more, so there is some negotiation going on as well there. Everything said and done, I personally believe that Questiny has what it takes to be a good game, especially since the publisher is very receptive when it comes to feedback. He's working on those rules and game mechanics to continuously improve the game. Make sure to keep an eye out for Questiny on upcoming crowdfunding websites.